Welcome once again to Relationships at Work, the leadership podcast helping you build workplace connection, improve culture, and avoid blind spots. I'm your host, Russel Lolacher. I'm a communications and leadership expert with a couple of decades of experience in both those areas, and a whole heap of curiosity, just like you, on how we can make the workplace a better place. It's mini episode time. These are our quick and dirty, well, not dirty, they're pretty clean. Quick, valuable bits of information to help your mindset for the week ahead, usually under about 10 minutes or so to get right to the point. And this time around, we're going to talk about risk aversion versus risk awareness and where our leadership needs to land. I'm going to use imagery for this one. Say you're driving down the road. It's a familiar road. You know this road. And suddenly you come across a pothole. There's a pothole right there in the road. Now, to drive through it, there is a risk of damage to your car. So you have to have a choice here. You can either drive on, go through the pothole, or turn back. It's a simple metaphor, but it tells the story of something that creeps up in leadership. Aversion versus awareness. So in this story, risk aversion is, there's a pothole, I'm staying home. Driving is clearly too dangerous. Risk awareness is, there's a pothole, but I'm going to slow down. I'm going to steer around it if I can. Maybe later on I'll upgrade my tires so I can handle these potholes or go a whole different route entirely. But I will get to where I'm going. Both mindsets recognize the exact same problem, but only one still gets you where you need to go or tries to get you there. The attempt matters. And that's the story of leadership far more than we like to admit. Risk is present in every project, every strategy. It's part of culture shifts, new ideas, and maybe most importantly, how our people decide whether to stay or go. But how we interpret that risk, that's where leadership either unlocks progress or quietly stalls it out. Risk aversion. This is the instinct to avoid uncertainty altogether. It sounds like we tried that before, it didn't work. Let's hold off just in case. Or I'd rather not open that can of worms. Have you heard any of these before? Have you said any of these before? It's an emotional reflex disguised as strategy. It's avoidance. And while it feels protective, it feels like you're doing the right thing. Ooh, there's risk over there. Let's not do anything. It usually protects the wrong things. Comfort, routine, the status quo. Not outcomes, not people, not culture. Risk aversion kills innovation, and it suffocates engagement. It will actually allow problems to continue. It can even convince top performers that the only place they'll ever get to stretch, experiment, or grow might be somewhere else. Risk awareness, on the other hand, this is the mindset that says, I see the risk, I understand it, or I have a lot of questions to better understand it. And now I can make an informed, intentional decision about how to move forward. It sounds like, what's the impact if we don't do this? What information do we still need? How can we test this in a safe, structured way? This approach, it isn't reckless, it's responsible, it's measured. It's not ignoring risk, it's knowing that risk is there and you're going to move forward anyway. It acknowledges that pothole in that metaphor without letting it become a roadblock. This mindset strengthens trust because it creates clarity, it invites collaboration, and shows our team that progress is not just allowed, it's expected even when there are challenges up ahead. In the workplace, risk aversion looks like delaying decisions until the moment has passed, rejecting employee suggestions before they're understood, choosing the same vendors, tools, and processes simply because we always have, suppressing conflict instead of navigating it, prioritizing internal conflict over external value. And inevitably, it shows up in your leadership ecosystem. Innovation slows, people disengage, retention stops, culture stagnates. Meanwhile, risk awareness allows us to now identify the problem and adjust accordingly, leading to better questions, planning, collaboration, adaptability, and outcomes. And here's the real kicker. Your team always knows which mindset you're operating from. They see you. They know not to bring things up to you because you'll say no because it's uncomfortable. They can tell when your decisions are grounded in awareness versus fear. They can feel when ideas are welcomed or dismissed, or even pre-dismissed. We know they're going to be dismissed ahead of time. They can sense when leadership is more interested in managing than leading. I've seen it erode the trust in leaders because everyone knew that progress would never ever be made. This is the flip side of trust. People actually trusted them not to move the organization forward, not the kind of trust we aim for as leaders. So keep in mind, our people don't need us to be fearless. They need us to be aware and still attempt and work to move forward. So the question this week, how do we as leaders ensure we're leaning into awareness rather than aversion when it comes to risk? 3 actionable answers for you. Number 1, ask, what's the impact of doing nothing? Risk aversion hides behind the illusion that staying still is the safest option. But in leadership, doing nothing is often the riskiest thing you can do. This question, what's the impact of doing nothing? It pulls avoidance into the light and reframes inaction as an active choice with consequences. Second, we can replace assumptions with information. Aversion thrives on imagined disaster scenarios. Awareness thrives on clarity. Before shutting down an idea or even launching one, pause and ask, what do we actually know and what are we guessing? Then close the gaps with small tests, data, and conversations with the people doing the work. And last, model calculated experimentation. Your team needs to see you try things in responsible ways. Build pilot projects. Run time-box tests. Invite postmortems. Reward learning, not just success, but learning. It's the journey. When leaders show that thoughtful experimentation is safe, teams will actually follow suit. You're modeling the behavior. The road ahead will always have those potholes. That's not the problem. The problem is when we treat every bump as a barricade instead of an opportunity to learn and get information. Awareness lets us adapt. Aversion keeps us stuck, and teams can feel the difference long before leaders might even admit it to themselves. So how's this? Stay in motion. Stay curious. Stay awake to what's possible. Your organization and the people in it are counting on you to lead, and we aren't leading if we're just standing still and avoiding any friction along the way. And that'll do it for another mini episode of Relationships at Work, the leadership podcast helping you build workplace connection, improve culture, and avoid those blind spots. I'm Russell, again, grateful to be here with you, even if it's a short period of time, even if we're just alone, me and you, rather than having a guest, which I do every Monday. And that's coming up again in just a few short days. I hope you've enjoyed our lineup of guests already, month to month, week to week. These are some amazing, brilliant people just knocking out of the park and being so generous with their time and their brains. So I love these environments because it helps me learn, it helps me become a better leader. And I know from hearing from you, it's doing the same. So thank you for being a part of my journey as I get to be a part of yours. Have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.